Do you know the difference between a monk and a priest? It might seem like a simple question, but the truth is, a lot of people get confused. Even Catholics who go to Mass every week. Some people think they're the same thing with different names. Others swear that a monk is a retired priest. And some even think monk is just a friendly nickname. But who's who in this story? What can a friar do? Can he celebrate Mass, hear confessions, and can a priest be part of a religious order? If you've ever had this question, or know someone who always mixes them up, stick around until the end, because this video will open your mind to one of the richest beauties of our church, the different vocations. Comment down below. Did you think that friars and priests were the same thing? Go ahead and give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, because today we're going to clear up this confusion once and for all. Let's start at the beginning. What exactly a priest? A priest is a man who has received the sacrament of holy orders, meaning he has been ordained to carry out priestly ministry within the church. This means he can celebrate Mass, hear confessions, grant absolution of sins, administer the anointing of the sick, baptize, preach, among other duties specific to his ministry. Usually when we think of a priest, we're thinking of a diocesan priest. He's connected to a diocese, works in a specific parish, and reports to the local bishop. He lives among the people and dedicates his life to the pastoral care of the community entrusted to him. But the church is rich in vocations, and not every priest follows this same path. This is where the figure of the friar comes in, with unique characteristics that cause a lot of confusion, even among the most devout churchgoers. Unlike a diocesan priest, a friar is a religious person who belongs to a religious order or congregation approved by the church, like the Franciscans, Dominicans, Carmelites, among others. The word friar comes from frater, which means brother. Friars take religious vows like poverty, chastity, and obedience and live together with other members of their order. Their lives are all about prayer, brotherhood, and the special mission of their group. It's important to understand that not every friar is a priest. Some friars are consecrated brothers who live the religious life fully, but without receiving the sacrament of holy orders. Others, besides being religious, are also ordained priests, and therefore exercise the priestly ministry within the context of their order. In other words, the title friar doesn't tell us if he's a priest or not, but rather that he is a consecrated religious, a member of an order. And this is where many people get confused. This is perhaps the question that confuses the faithful the most. If a friar isn't necessarily a priest, then can he celebrate Mass? The answer is, it depends. If the friar is only a consecrated religious brother, he cannot celebrate Mass, nor hear confessions or administer the sacraments that require priestly ordination. He lives his vocation as a brother, within the community, serving, evangelizing, and praying with the people, but without performing priestly duties. Now, if the friar is also ordained as a priest, then yes, he is a priest, and therefore he can celebrate the Eucharist, hear confessions, preach, and perform all the duties of a priest. In this case, he is both a friar and a priest, because he belongs to a religious order and has received the sacrament of holy orders. So sometimes we hear Friar John celebrated Mass or Friar Peter heard confessions. These are cases of friars who are also priests. But there are many friars who are not priests, and they live their mission in the church fully as consecrated religious. To really understand who friars are, it's important to know a little about religious orders. These are communities approved by the church, each with its own charism, that is, a specific mission that God inspired for the good of the church and the world. Some well-known examples are the Franciscans, founded by Saint Francis of Assisi. They live out evangelical poverty and love for the poor. The Dominicans from St. Dominic are really active in preaching and teaching. The Carmelites have a deep life of prayer and contemplation. And so many others, Benedictines, Augustinians, Capuchins, among many. Each of these orders trains its members according to the spirit of its founder. The friars live in community, share their belongings, pray together, follow their own rules and wear habits characteristic of their congregation. These orders have existed for centuries and have been essential for evangelization, teaching, charity, and preserving the faith throughout the history of the Church. So, when we see a friar, we are seeing someone who carries not just a title, but a spiritual heritage and a very specific mission within the Church. Even though both a diocesan priest and an ordained friar can celebrate Mass and administer sacraments, the way they live and serve the Church is quite different. A diocesan priest usually lives alone or with a few other priests in a parish house. He is responsible for a specific parish and is directly under the authority of the bishop of his diocese. His mission is more local and focused on the community where he lives, with a clearly defined pastoral focus. Now, a friar, even if he's a priest, lives in a community, with other members of his order. He follows a specific set of rules, with times for prayer, sharing of belongings, and a close-knit community life. His obedience is to the head of his order, not the local bishop, although he works together with him. Also, their lifestyles have some visible differences. A diocesan priest usually wears a cassock or simple clerical clothes. Friars wear the habit of their order, which varies a lot: brown for Franciscans, white for Dominicans, and so on. Both are essential to the Church's mission, but they follow different paths, with complementary vocations. Understanding this helps us recognize the richness of the ways to serve God in consecrated and priestly life. If friar is already confusing, imagine when words like monk, brother, friar, abbot, prior, and religious father enter the conversation. Let's simplify things. Friar and monk come from the same root word, frater, which means brother. In practice, they mean the same thing. Monk is an older term, and friar is the more common way to say it in Brazilian Portuguese. Both refer to someone who lives in a mendicant religious order, like the Franciscans or Dominicans. Now, brother is a broader term. It can refer to any consecrated religious person who is not a priest, whether in an apostolic congregation, monastic, or active life. He is a consecrated person who has taken vows, but has not received the sacrament of holy orders. A monk is a member of a monastic order, like the Benedictines or Trappists. Unlike friars, monks live in enclosed monasteries focusing on prayer, silence, and manual labor. If they are ordained, they are called monk priests. And the abbot? This is the head of a monastery, usually elected by the monks. It's a spiritual leadership role, similar to a bishop, but limited to the internal life of the monastic community. Understanding the difference between a priest and a friar isn't just a fun fact. It's a way to admire the wisdom and richness of our Church, which, over the centuries, has welcomed different vocations for the same purpose: to proclaim the gospel and bring souls to God. Each vocation has its own sparkle. The diocesan priest with his direct dedication to the people of a parish, the friar with his community witness and the charism of his order, the monks with their life of silent prayer and constant intercession, all form one body with different gifts, but with the same Spirit acting in each one. To value these differences is to recognize that God calls in many ways, and that the Church is more beautiful precisely because it is so diverse, without losing its unity. Did you know that Saint Francis of Assisi was never a priest? Even though he founded one of the most well-known orders in the world, the Franciscans, he chose to remain a friar, a brother. He wanted to live the radical message of the gospel with simplicity, poverty, and brotherhood without being ordained a priest. And there's more. In many convents and monasteries, the friars or consecrated brothers who aren't priests are the ones responsible for essential tasks, like welcoming visitors, teaching, cooking, working in the infirmary, and social work. Their mission is valuable and essential even without performing sacraments. Here's another interesting thing. The title friar is only used by members of certain religious orders. In others, like the Jesuits, the priest is just called father, even if they are a member of a religious order. So, Not every religious person is called a friar, and that also helps explain why so many people get confused. The truth is, the Church is full of details that reveal a beautiful, rich, and very well thought out structure, but that we only truly appreciate when we begin to understand it. Now that you understand the difference between a friar and a priest and discovered interesting facts that many people don't even know, tell me in the comments. Have you ever thought about this before? Did you think friars and priests were the same thing? I really want to know what else caught your attention in this video. The Church is one, but there are many vocations, and each one of them is a call of love, a real answer to God. If you feel that God is calling you to something bigger, don't be afraid to listen to that voice. Pray, talk to someone you trust, seek vocational guidance. The Lord keeps calling, and the harvest is still plentiful. If this video helped you out, give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next videos. Here we talk about faith, teachings, and interesting facts about Catholicism in a clear, serious way, full of love for the truth. And share this video with that friend or relative who keeps mixing up friars and priests. It'll be a great way to share your faith in a lighthearted way. And even get an "I didn't know that." See you in the next video. God bless. Do you want to understand the prophecies shaping the future of the world? In the ebook Catholic Prophecies, The Future of the World Revealed, you'll uncover powerful messages from the Bible, saints, and Marian apparitions. Most importantly, you'll see how they connect to the times we are living in. Don't be left in the dark. Get your copy now. The link is in the description and pinned comment.